Somebody come get 'em. They're too old for TikTok.
Hello and welcome to Too Old for TikTok. We have a very special episode today because Catalina is on the East Coast. I actually got to see her this morning. Catalina, how is your time here?
I was just reflecting just now, this second, on the fact that you very frequently say we have a very special episode.
Well, every episode is very special to me in different ways, though.
Yes. So this week's episode is special in the sense that, yes, I am on the East Coast. And yes, Dina and I did see each other a mere 3 hours ago in New York City, in the place that everyone wants to be, Grand Central Station.
Yeah, and I was maybe not going to see you because you chose Peloton over our friendship, and I was offended.
Well, you chose Long Island over our friendship last night.
True.
So I would just say, like, you deserved that. But I'm sorry that you were offended, but for me, it was really important. I was able to go to a live studio class at the Peloton studios in New York City because the other day I was like, wait, I should see if there are any spots available. And there was a waitlist spot for the exact type of class I love to take. I take the Power Zone training classes. And there was a class, and I wasn't on the list, but I was on the wait list, and I was like, I think there's a very high likelihood I'll get off this wait list from what I've read online. And lo and behold, yesterday morning, I got off the wait list. So I got to go to the class, and it was honestly the highlight of my year.
I mean, I cannot believe how happy this has made you. You literally have said it was one of your top 10 mornings ever. And I'm like,
no, I said moments.
Wedding? Oh, I thought morning.
No, morning. That could be like a top 5 morning.
Oh, wow. Your wedding pretty much probably ranks in the same place as this Peloton class.
This was actually, I wouldn't say this was lower stress than the wedding because I woke up so many times last night because I was worried because they have all these rules because it's not like a normal exercise class. It's a live recording. It's basically like you are an extra on a set. And you just happen to be exercising as well. And so you have to be there 45 minutes to an hour early. And it was in Hudson Yards. And I was like, oh my God, like, it's going to take me so long. I have to bring my suitcase because I'm going from there to Grand Central Station to go to my parents. So I woke up multiple times. And then I woke up 30 minutes before my alarm. And I'm very tired. But the class was very fun. I enjoyed it. Thrill of my life.
I'm so happy you had that thrill. And some of our friends, mostly just Sam, said Peloton was a little off-brand for you. So maybe our listeners don't peg you as a Peloton girl. But this is a callback to last week's episode or 2 weeks ago when I said you would be most likely to join a cult.
I'm already in one.
You're in the Peloton cult. You're one step away if everyone starts wearing white turbans like the yoga
the Kundalini.
Kundalini, yeah, you're there.
I was telling you over lunch today that I'm not a Peloton person who like shares a lot about it on the internet, but I do talk about it a lot with the other people that I know who do Peloton. So that's where I draw the line. Like at the studio, people were in line. I mean, it's like you're meeting celebrities for the people who do this. So everyone's like talking about their favorite instructors. And I was like, I don't really want to participate. Like, I feel like a little bit like that's not me. Like, I'll keep it to myself. But with a friend of mine, I'll talk for 45 minutes to an hour about who my favorite instructors are and my opinions on all the instructors. But when I'm in the studio and they're like real people there, the instructors, I don't want to like dehumanize them in the way that you kind of do when you're picking them apart as celebrities outside of the studio.
That's actually a great segue into something that is just all over my For You page. Recently I'm just getting off it, but it was really every single video was about Kate Middleton. Conspiracy theories. Some people do have really good takes. I will say they're like piecing together things. And basically what I'm thinking is just she just wants to be left alone. I think the closest things that people are saying she has an eating disorder, and that's why she had
probably, but like I don't think that's why she's out of the public eye.
Whatever it is, like I think a lot of people are now in the sentiment of she doesn't need to share her health with the public, and it is we need to leave her alone. And she's gonna, whenever she does resurface, which is, they say, I mean, Easter, unless
I
they
mean,
push
there's
it
an
back, they may
announcement
have.
pending. Have you been seeing
Right.
this? That there's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
yeah.
I'm very excited about the announcement. And then I was Googling on my train ride to Connecticut, actually. I was like, oh my God, when's the announcement coming? And apparently that might even be fake news as well. So
Who knows? Well, by the time this airs on, it's going to be Thursday, there might be an announcement. So this could be old. I hope there is one.
I mean, I've seen as well a lot of content about this now, and beyond the like, haha, she got a BBL, the most convincing one to me was like, from this woman who has stepped out in like heels 24 hours after giving birth. This is very out of character in such a way that indicates that there was like a health complication. So I think there was just like something went wrong.
And she needs more time. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah.
But we'll see.
We will see. I like a lot of the videos or memes that say, Risa Tisa ended just in time for us to have this Kate Middleton drama. And I saw an American responding to some person in the UK who was like, why do Americans care so much? And basically saying, because we have nothing else. Like, our country's going to shit. We have like Biden versus Trump. So like, truly, we just need something to like glom onto that brings us together.
Yes.
So, and this is Kate Middleton.
That is the like opiate of the masses of the moment. Yeah.
Exactly. To take a right turn, as I love to say.
Now I'm not going to know the correct phrase.
It's left, but I'm going to use right
All
forever and
right.
ever. The other thing on my For You page this week is a video by Bond 007, and it's about a fart walk.
Going for a fart walk after dinner is something that's going to help you age wonderfully. And if you follow me, you know that my husband and I go out for fart walks most nights after dinner. So about 60 minutes after we've eaten, we put on our running shoes and off we go. Now, why do we do this? Well, we eat a lot of fiber, so we have gas. Everybody does. And you fart when you walk. So that's why I named it that. But the main reason that we do the fart walks is because by walking for as little as 2 minutes, we usually walk for about 10, 15, 20, but not really quickly. It's more of a moderate walk. We are helping reduce our chances of developing type 2 diabetes. Why? Well, because walking is helping maintain our blood sugars, keeping them from ricocheting all around.
I think this came up on my For You page because last week we were talking about farting and pooping in front of our significant others.
I mean, we're always talking about farting and pooping.
So true. But I love this idea. I mean, to you, though, and to me, every walk is
That's what I was going to say. I was like, every walk is a fart walk. Why am I going to It's just about like digesting. I think it's just getting your body moving after you eat. It's the typical, we had a Thanksgiving meal and now we're going for a walk to like digest our food, right? But just every day.
Digesting is just letting out some gas. Yeah,
I guess so. I thought it was, I don't know this woman's qualifications. I don't know much about her profile, and so I was like, is this scientific? Is she like a dietitian?
No, I don't think she's a doctor or a dietitian.
Well, she was giving some medical advice about diabetes in such a way that I was sort of wondering.
Interesting. Okay, I could.
But people on the internet do also like to just say random things as if they had authority on the subject. So I agree with the fart walk, even if it's not medically proven to impede the development of diabetes. Just let your farts fly. And better yet, let your farts fly outside, please.
Right. Outside is just a better place for them. And I love this, but also just walking in general is great.
You know what I learned yesterday?
Oh,
sorry.
What'd you learn?
Well, this is not about farts. Do you have something to say about farts?
I do. I was just going to say, as a resident of New York City, the best place to fart is on the subway platform because it's really loud and it smells bad anyway. So literally no one will notice. So that's my 2 cents about farting in New York City.
My thing was more about digestion, where I was eating yesterday with a friend of mine who's pregnant, and she was like talking about how she was really full, and I was like, you didn't really eat that much. And she told me, and then I was like, wow, I am so stupid, and our like health education in this country has just truly failed us. Apparently your stomach gets like smaller when you're pregnant
because the baby's
it's
like
pushed
on
by so you
other
get
organs
hungry
too.
frequently, but your stomach itself is smaller. I had never heard. Had you heard of this?
Well, we're always pushed this narrative that when you're pregnant,
You're just
can
eating
eat
not
for two.
Yeah, you're eating. No, but you're pushed this narrative that you're eating so much. Maybe you're just eating more frequently, but less amount.
Right.
But again, I was given abstinence only education, so I don't know.
I always maintain that if I become pregnant, I will lose weight from not drinking.
I know a girl who
first.
that did happen to, but I'll find other ways.
Yeah, I'll probably substitute alcohol with dessert. So
especially if I'm hungry frequently.
More frequently.
Right?
Right. Yeah, I guess so.
We'll see.
One day we'll find out, maybe. Okay, the next thing on my For You page, it was St. Paddy's Day. I did get some St. Paddy's Day content. Also, I forgot that the parade was this past weekend, and it really messed up my run home. I had to wait in line to cross the street. I was not happy
Where's
at
the
all.
parade?
On Fifth Avenue.
I saw some good TikToks about people on Stone Street in New York City. Did you see those?
Oh, was it rowdy? I didn't.
It was just a sea
Chaos.
of individuals. This one guy had a TikTok that was, he was very inebriated, and he was doing front facing camera, and he was like, "This is hell. Do not come here."
Yeah, New York City is just insane. There's tourists. I was most surprised by it. There's definitely like the fratty boy scene with the bars, but I saw a lot of middle-aged women really drunk walking around with like drinks in their hand, very clear. And I was surprised by that. I just assumed younger fratty people, but no, good for these women.
I felt it was very contained yesterday. And in that regard, I'd like to ask you, which to you is the more disruptive holiday? St. Patrick's Day or SantaCon?
Well, Catalina, you were not in the city when it was the parade. Even though yesterday was St. Paddy's Day, the parade was the day before. And the day of the parade, I felt, was probably more rowdy than actual St. Paddy's Day itself. Now, I have participated in my youth in both SantaCon, and I think probably in college we did like a St. Paddy's Day bar crawl of some sort.
I don't think I ever did that, but
I think I did. But I will say that SantaCon is much more of a disruption for me, speaking from, personally, because I think the amount of alcohol people drink, and I just don't know. For me, it's more disturbing to my life.
yes, for some reason, St. Patrick's is still a little bit like
Cultural.
and
Yeah, I don't know.
SantaCon is really just there's
get drunk.
no foundations. It's except for being
Dress up like a
shit-faced
Santa.
as Santa.
Yeah. Well, get back to the video I'm going to talk about now. It's by Goodbye 20s.
The bar I'm going to for St. Patrick's Day charges $22 per drink. There's no way I'm paying that, so I came up with the ultimate solution to get my own favorite drink into the bar and not have to pay those prices. The prep time for this is about 5 days, so if you're going to try this, start today. St. Patrick's Day and rainbows go together, so I decided to fill up my glass purse with rainbow layered jello. The last time I snuck my drink purse into a concert, it did work, but it was a little bit messy because the liquid kept splashing around. This time I opted to do jello because it's a lot firmer, looks more realistic, and is less messy. I prepared a gigantic batch of my favorite jello shots and layered them in this bag. I'm going to sneak in a few straws so my friends and I can take jello shots throughout the night and share with everybody. This will definitely get past security and bouncers because the jello helps this purse look so realistic.
I mean, this is definitely a joke because she puts a nail clipper in this bag with the straw and like drinks from it. But I think it's a very funny video. Also, but like kind of a waste of jello shots because I don't think she was going to drink them really. I mean, she says she was going to bring them to the bar. Who knows?
This purse is really making its round on TikTok recently. I've seen a few videos. This was the only St. Patrick's Day themed one that I saw, but I've seen other videos where people are finding unique and funny ways. I mean, it's also visually very obvious that it's not a real purse.
That it's not a real purse.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just like a piece of glass. Also, can you imagine how heavy that is?
I know Jell-O weighs a lot, and to hold on to it, also if it was hot anywhere, it would just start getting really sticky and it would rub off on your hand. So I don't think it's very practical.
And you would need a spoon.
Well, the straw seemed to work in
I
this
don't think a
video.
straw really works, though. I think that maybe
Yeah.
for like a few sips it'll work, but
Or you just shove your face in the purse.
or you
and
scoop
just
it up
start
with your
getting-
hand, just paw it.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what's been on your For You page, Catalina?
Well, as we all know, there is a looming threat of a TikTok ban because our legislators don't have anything else, more effective to do other than say that a company that's from Singapore is a Chinese company that's stealing our information. I've seen a lot of more factual takes on this, but mostly in the spirit of Gen Z humor, which is what like drives the TikTok platform. It's just people making fun of what's going on right now. And so this was an amazing video by Piso Iskoy where it's responding to the TikTok ban as Gen Z.
Oh, U.S. government of America, you've made a big mistake. You think you can take away our app? Well, we are the most powerful generation that there ever was. We are Generation Z. We won't let TikTok fall. We will rise above it all. We will save TikTok. Time's running out. Can you hear the clock? Joe Biden, we are ready for war. You want us so bad, and now you want more. Who's with me? Charlie D'Amelio, Noah Beck, Jojo Siwa, Brittany Borowski. Welcome to the end times. Hi, Dixie.
I really enjoyed the comment section of the video, particularly the comment, "This gon' be on the news." Because
Probably
it's
will
so
be on the
true.
news. It's so true.
It's like,
indeed.
what are they doing on the TikToks? And it's this guy just singing.
dancing. I like when he shouts out Charlie D'Amelio and Noah Beck, the big TikTokers who care about this.
I mean, okay, these are my working theories on what's going to happen. Either a US company buys TikTok or acquires
Yes.
TikTok and makes them stop. But it's also funny because one of these more factual videos that I saw, it was an infographic talking about how our data is shared to companies in the United States. The companies that take the most of our information are Facebook. Well, it's Meta is the number one.
Of course.
And then Uber. One that was
Uber
kind of
is a
surprising
shocking
was
one.
like DraftKings.
Oh, that
Yeah,
makes
or
sense.
DoorDash was another one.
Mm-hmm.
And so TikTok's on the list, but it's quite far down on the list.
Right.
So anyway, first, most likely, in my opinion, is being acquired by
Yeah, exactly.
a U.S. company. Second, most likely, nothing happens. Third, most likely, or some sort of like limitations happen. They come to some sort of agreement with the company.
Right.
The third, if there were to be a ban, there would just be a migration to another platform, most likely Reels, which
Reels,
already has the
exactly.
Mark Zuckerberg is out there
Wants
like
this TikTok ban.
foaming at
Yeah.
the mouth. But I do think that there would be an antitrust issue if,
Right. So Meta can't acquire TikTok because there's an antitrust
but they
issue,
can
so it
benefit
has to
from
be-
its banning.
Of course, right. So I saw another video where this girl was saying that Meta lobbies the US government so hard and spends hundreds of millions of dollars. So they would never get a ban, even though they're the ones profiting and getting the most data, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4 years ago, it was like Microsoft or Oracle was trying to buy TikTok. I forget, but I do think it's going to be acquired. By who? I'm not sure. But
It's just tomfoolery, really. There are so many
so many other issues.
much more important issues
Let's
happening.
get some gun control laws in place. How about that?
You know, like there's a lot of welfare in the United States
Yeah.
that we could address, but no. Let's yell
No,
about
TikTok
TikTok. But it's
ban.
an election year, so we have to select something and make it look like we're doing something.
Exactly.
Anyway, we'll see.
moving on.
Hopefully we're not out of a job when it comes to our podcast, because
We're
this
gonna be
is
called Too Old for Reels.
too old for Facebook stories. Wait, what is it even called? I don't even know. Is it Facebook
Stories,
Reels?
is it a thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's Instagram
It's still Reels. No, but there's Facebook stories as well that are
Oh,
Reels.
yeah, there are. Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
what it's
I don't know
called.
what they're
I
called.
don't even know what
Facebook
it's called.
videos.
What if the big joke is that Gen Z makes fun of Facebook, but then they all have to
They
go
have
and use
to be on
Facebook?
it. Oh, wow.
Should we lobby for that?
No.
No. All right. Anyway, so that's one thing.
What else is on your For You page?
This video is by @Sue's Foods. I didn't even watch the whole thing because I knew
did.
I was going to be so triggered.
Last year, I visited 17 cities in Europe, and these are 3 cities I probably would have skipped. Doesn't mean these are bad destinations, I just didn't enjoy them as much as other cities. First is Madrid. The main reason is because I went to both Madrid and Barcelona on the same trip, and I feel like Madrid didn't have as many interesting things to do for me at least, other than the palace and museums. I spent 2.5 days here, and if I were to do this trip again, I would probably skip Madrid and spend more time in Barcelona. Second is Catania, which is in Sicily. I went into it hoping it would be a nice Italian vacation, but the city just felt a little run down and not the safest. People were also not afraid to stare at you, and I'm sure they weren't trying to be rude or mean, but it felt a little uncomfortable as a female traveler. Third is Berlin. Don't get me wrong, I would love to live in Berlin. The city is so clean and welcoming. There are so many cool cafes and shops and roads, but as a tourist, I feel like the main attractions are history museums, which I personally am not the biggest on, especially because at this point of my trip, I was getting severe museum fatigue. The food scene was also pretty international, so I didn't find as many options for authentic local food, which is something I try to eat everywhere I go. Again, this is just my experience. What doesn't work for me could work for you.
You were triggered because the first city she says is not worth going to is Madrid, and she was only there for 2 days. And all the comments agree with you.
But also the comments that are defending her, like, everyone has a personal opinion. And honestly, you know what? Over tourism is an issue. Don't go to Madrid. Honestly, don't
Okay.
go. I don't care.
But I do agree with those comments that she's just sharing her opinion and her personal views of what happened. Like me and you, we went to Sintra and we'd probably be like, don't go there. But someone else
Would be like,
who
this is
went
the
there
best
when
thing
it
in my
wasn't
entire life. Right.
Exactly. But we're allowed to share our opinion, just like this girl. So in defense of this video, I think people were coming at her a little too hard.
I think people came
about
at her too hard.
opinions.
I think the problem is when you have these platforms where people are making these sweeping generalizations where they are just so entirely uninformed, and her saying that for her the only things to do in Madrid were like museums. And I'm just
right.
like, you just don't know anything, and so don't act like you're in a position of authority and say that these are the only things that someone can do in this city, or this is, I do think, and I've long time said this, Barcelona is a better city for traditional tourism because there are there's a larger quantity of more obvious tourist activities there, and it is more friendly towards, honestly, people who don't know other languages and aren't very savvy.
Wow. Okay. Can I tell you why I liked Barcelona more than Madrid? Sure. And it is one simple reason: because of the water. I simply like cities that are by water, and Madrid being landlocked felt very weird to me. Like, I just need to see a body of water somewhere. So that's really the only reason.
That you preferred being near the water.
Exactly. But that's such a personal thing. I don't think I'm the authority on anything but my opinion. So again, would you come for me? You probably would if I made a video that said, I prefer the water.
No, I think it's the way that you frame it. I think it's the way that you frame it when you frame it as these generalizations about these places that you really don't know that much about. Like, I think there's this idea of, and I think this creator does try to couch her statements and be like, this is just my personal experience.
She does.
But then she goes on to say, I felt as though there were only these limited things to do. And people are immediately going to attack you because it's like, I think people in the comments were like, did you even research anything? Like, did you look
Yeah.
anything up before you went there? And then the ones that were really cracking me up were people's responses to Berlin, where she
Yes,
called Berlin
yes.
a clean city. Clearly, she was like only in West Berlin. I mean,
I've
like
never
that was
been
my
to
impression.
Berlin.
So West Berlin and East Berlin have like very different vibes.
Yeah.
Obviously for historic reasons, but that has translated into do we need to explain?
I was just gonna say, why was there like a wall or something?
No, I think that I don't know. I think there was like maybe a little bit of separation.
Maybe.
So West Berlin and East Berlin are, very different in terms of architecture and
Culture.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because there's that
Yeah.
historical aspect of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so my immediate takeaway was, she was probably mostly in West Berlin.
She also said that the food was international, so she couldn't get like local.
Anyone who
food.
ever talks about authenticity, I just want to be like, I need to introduce you to a man named Baudrillard. Like, I'm sorry, but authenticity is...
Who's Baudrillard? Oh my god. I don't know who that is.
Baudrillard is a very famous French philosopher.
Let's leave Baudrillard out of it.
Okay, well, all
What
I'm
if he,
saying is...
let's leave him out.
The notion of authenticity is subjective and constantly in evolution. And so what this girl is looking for is what her idea of authentic Germany is, and Berlin isn't in line with what her idea of an authentic German experience is, because Berlin is like a very international city and she has a more
Right.
limited concept
Viewpoint, yeah.
of what it would be.
makes sense.
Anyway, you've never been to Berlin?
I've never been to
Oh,
Berlin.
I loved
no.
Berlin.
I would love to go.
I had a lovely time.
it's
It
on
was
my
very
list.
authentic.
To you. All right, moving to something that's near and dear to my heart, a video you sent me. It's a video by Grace_Olivia T1D. It's an audio.
Excuse me. I need your help. You need to kill me.
But the words are, when I walk into my roommate's room and see her blankie. And then you see just like shards. Someone said it looked like ferret droppings in the comments.
It looked bad.
Oh, owl droppings. That's what someone said. Catalina, do you think my blankie looks like this though? Do you know what my blankie looks like?
No, your blankie doesn't look like that. Your blankie is clean and well maintained.
Yes, I cleaned my blankie and it smells delightful. And I mean,
it
is it
looked like-
problematic that I have a blankie? Yes, but we're not talking about that. But my blankie does not look like this.
I don't know how that blankie, this girl's blankie, ended up being that way.
I think if you have a blankie for 30 years and you do run it through the wash, I guess, or maybe don't. Like,
I mean,
just
that
shards.
blankie looked like when you take the lint out of the dryer and then you peel like all the lint out, and then as if they like taken it and then sort of like clumped it together and pulled it apart. That's what that looked like. Like, it was no longer a blanket.
like a rag.
It was.
Yeah,
it
it's like a
had
rag,
become
Shards.
the fibers.
Right.
It had returned to the
Whatever
status
material.
of fiber. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's no sewing that could fix it at all.
I mean, so I've been using now since like 2013 this Angry Bird pillow that
we've
someone
spoken
gave me
about
as
it
a birthday
before.
present, and I use it as like a headrest when I'm in bed, and it's really losing its shape such that I'm like, it's getting to a point where I'm like, at what point do I
Throw it out.
I don't want to throw it out because now it's been with me for like 11
It's
years as my neck
sentimental.
rest.
It's
but-
traveled the world. You said you brought it as your like one thing to bring to other countries when you would move.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's losing its shape,
Well-
but it doesn't look like that yet.
I recommended bringing it to a doll doctor, a doll restorer. There are things maybe
A Build-A-Bear.
You could mail it out.
You know what
and
that
they could
blanket looked
restuff
like?
It.
It looked like if I took like an X-Acto knife and cut that Angry Bird open and pulled the stuffing out and
Pulled
threw it
out,
on the
yeah.
bed.
Yeah, that is so true.
Excellent.
Okay. The next video that you sent me that was on your furry page, I find extremely funny. It's a Stitch by Trap Money Melly. And you need to know that the first person talking you hear is a nun.
Yes.
See people at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning doing what?
And the next person is clearly just
In the club.
a woman in the club.
This reminds me of when I used to go out in Spain or whatever and like be going home at like 8 a.m. and you'd be walking home on a Sunday morning and people are like going to church or like there's children in a park and you're just like, I'm a dirtbag.
Those days, I haven't had one of those days since, wow.
An 8
forever.
a.m.? I certainly have not had.
I don't know if I've ever had an 8 a.m.
Really?
No. Oh, no, that's not true. Actually, when I was in New Orleans.
You had an 8 a.m.?
Yeah, it was between 6 and 8. It's very blurry.
I mean, normally the 8 a.m. is because you like went to eat somewhere after.
Right, you go to a diner.
Yeah,
right.
like,
yeah.
Or you're in Berlin.
Or McDonald's. Right.
I just saw a TikTok of a club that was a like 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. club. It was like for people who still want to go out but don't want to be out really late. I could get behind that, but I don't really like.
I could too.
I prefer night parties to day parties. As
Yeah,
a rule.
day parties. I can't really day drink very well anymore.
No,
and
me
then
neither.
rally. If I day drink, I'm going to bed early.
Well, but I think that's why people day drink. I think people prefer it. Actually, when I was at this bachelorette party,
Right.
these girls were talking about how like my ideal day is like we go out and then like go to sleep by 9 p.m. And I'm like, I don't
that's
like that.
early. No. Well, when you're back in New York City this coming weekend, should we go to the club?
Yeah, what club? PM or libation?
It doesn't exist. And libation, does that exist anymore?
Like, I remember when my friend moved to New York after college and told me that people would go to libation for brunch.
Ew. Seeing that place at like 3 a.m, you do not want to be eating there the next day at 10 a.m.
I don't like going to clubs in New York City. I like going to clubs in other countries where it's like, or in anywhere except New York City where it's like dancing. In New York City, I just feel like a lot of the clubs are just about having table service and being a model.
Right, bottle service.
And I'm not a model. So for me, it's not fun.
Well, you're not a model in your eyes, but you're a model in other people's eyes.
I could be like one of those Dove campaigns that's trying to be body inclusive.
Speaking of body inclusive, I can't wait until we find out if we fit in the drying chairs at the nail salon.
I know, we have to select. I was just walking past a nail salon last night in the city, and I was like, is this still open? It was like, I guess it was like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
How late do they stay
late.
open?
Some stay open till 10.
Wow. A city of convenience.
What a privilege to live here. Let's move on to food on TikTok. This video by Kayla He is about Chippy Boys, which are
This is how I would describe
potato
it.
chips.
Yeah. It's potato chips that she doctors.
Let's make Chippy Boys. We got our plain kettle chips, and then I'm gonna sprinkle on the gorgonzola. Look at that beautiful mold. Oh, gorgeous. Last time I made these, a lot of people commented and said they made them with either feta or goat cheese, and they really liked them. So you can always do that, but the flavor of the gorgonzola, it's just something you can't replicate. But I understand that some people don't like it. Started broiling them in my oven again because my Our-Place oven always burns them. I've been tossing them in a bowl for optimal balsamic coating. This is the flavor I normally use, the strawberry fig, and I got this one to try, the Cabernet Merlot, to be determined if I like it as much.
What are your thoughts on these? Would you make these, Catalina?
I was thinking that the balsamic, to me, gives it's getting soggy.
You would have to eat them right away.
I mean, ostensibly, as I was watching, when she put her, so it's chips, she puts the cheese on them, she puts them in the oven, and then she takes them out and she like sauces them up, right?
Yeah.
That's nachos.
I was just going
Right.
to say, it's nachos.
It's nachos.
Yeah.
So,
just with potato chips.
right, which, you know, I was like, oh, are those going to get overcooked? And then I thought, oh, I guess that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
I love gorgonzola cheese.
I do not. I would not like this.
Ivan does not like gorgonzola, which I feel like really has, you know, intervened in how much gorgonzola I eat in my life. But, like, am I going to make a giant thing of gorgonzola kettle chips? Another thing for me personally, and this is just like a mental problem, is in my brain, I have conditioned myself to be like, I mean, I know health-wise, eating a ton of tortilla chips is like highly caloric and high oil, whatever. in my brain, that's like a normal behavior, whereas eating a nacho amount of potato chips feels like extra indulgent to me, such that
yeah,
I might stay away. But I do want to try it now.
But if it was in front of me, I would overindulge for sure because they look so good. It's like spinach artichoke chip too. You're dipping and dipping and dipping. You're eating like probably 17 pounds of cheese before you know it.
Well, Ivan and I recently, because of TikTok, there was some list of like best Trader Joe's products, and one of them was the Trader Joe's spinach and artichoke dip. Have you ever purchased it?
No, I haven't.
It comes in like a candle, which is very funny. You get this like thing that looks like a wax candle and you melt it in the microwave. And it's not as good as a homemade, but it is quite good. It's a limited quantity. It's not like a vast amount that you would get at maybe like a Super Bowl party or Costco. Yeah. You know where the spinach and artichoke dip was nasty?
I know what you're going to say.
Applebee's.
I didn't think it was nasty.
I thought it tasted like gravy. Bad gravy.
Maybe you had a weird consistency. Mine was fine. Was it good? No. Was it fine? Yes.
So these Chippy Boys, my main pause is more putting something wet on them.
Right, because after 10 minutes they'd be soggy. I agree.
But maybe that's nice. Like sometimes it's nice when you get like a little sort of saucy, soggy chip. I don't know.
Mixed in with the crispy. Well, we'll try it.
We'll have to sample.
I would do it with feta. I'll add that.
We could do half feta, half gorgonzola, and then split.
It's like East and West Berlin.
Which one's East Berlin? Well, obviously, feta is West Berlin, and gorgonzola is East Berlin. Because it's like a little funkier.
Okay. We have learning on TikTok. We have 2 videos. I'm learning so much on TikTok this week. The first is by that Chris Carly.
So with iOS 17, they basically made all of the emojis stickers. So you can now pick them up and just lift them directly into your chat and then send them as images in larger format if you need to. But since it's also iMessage, you can also lift these up and use them as stickers and then apply them to other images in your chat, allowing you to build up a little scene if you really wanted to.
Did you know about these?
I had no idea. I need to try this now. I knew you could make your own stickers out of like people's faces and stuff like that. Yeah. I will say the sticker game is stronger on WhatsApp. People are always sending stickers on WhatsApp. Actually, when I was in Buenos Aires, I reserved a massage, and the woman responding to me kept sending me stickers. And I was,
of what?
Of like a chihuahua getting their head massaged.
Why a chihuahua?
Because it was like a sticker. It's just random stickers. They're not emojis. Now I need to find this so I can show it to you because it was so funny. But yeah, the sticker game there is very... I'm trying to find... Oh, okay. Are you ready for this? The first is a chihuahua, then it's a boy running to another boy, and then it was weirdly Brad Pitt.
Famous... The boy running to another boy is very famous. The Brad Pitt one, I don't get that at all.
I mean, it was just like, oh, I can't pay a deposit, but I'm going for sure. And then she sent me the boys hugging. I was like, this is going to be a very strange massage, but it was a good massage.
I'm so glad. Wow,
anyway,
really
so
funny.
I didn't know this about the stickers themselves. I need to give it a try. I don't know if I have that iOS.
I haven't updated, but I will update and I'll try it out.
Excellent.
The one he does in the video is a runner who then has like a little farting thing behind him. So that was fun. We love to talk about farting.
We stand farts.
Next and last video is by Durbin Malonester.
I worked in the airline industry for 3 years, and this is my #1 flying hack, besides getting pre-checked, but that one's obvious. The morning of your flight, you're going to text yourself your flight number, okay? But the key is you have to include your airline code. So for example, if I'm flying American Airlines flight 686, I'm going to type AA686. Delta is going to be DL, Alaskans AS. You get the point. If someone's picking you up, send it to them. If you're Ubering, send it to yourself. That text will become a link to tell you everything you need to know about your flight. And it will update in real time. What's your gate? You're going to go through security, open your phone, click on your link and know, oh, I'm gate D6. Awesome.
I didn't know this about flight numbers, like texting them and then just it linking automatically when you send it. This is great.
I had known this by accident once, where I think I had texted it to someone and then I clicked on it and I was like, oh, wow. But I had not realized all the ways that you can use it when you're traveling.
Right.
I really like that idea.
Board. Yeah. And so someone could track you and see when you're coming and going. It's so great.
It's very,
the more you know.
Very important information. Another thing this might be being like influenced by TikTok and all those things that I recently incorporated. Yes, it was because of TikTok, because it was someone who was like, I travel all the time and these are like non-negotiables for me. I bought, and I'm using it for the first time, a small cord organizer. And you put your headphones and you put your like chargers, and it's really nice, because normally I just take a bag and I throw them all in there and then they're all tangled, and then I'm trying to like and I'm pulling out my like Apple Watch charger when I'm trying to get my regular charger. So that is another one. So now text yourself your flight number and get a cord organizer. And when I was buying the cord organizer, I was like looking at all the ones on Amazon and I was saying, I don't have this many cords, so I bought the smallest one possible. When I tell you, that thing is busting at the seams. Like I have, you
buy a medium or large size. I have so many cords for sure.
I didn't really think about it, but I have a lot of cords. So,
wow. Well, good to stay organized.
Yeah, I recommend.
Great. Well, this has been a lovely episode. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, and see you next week.
Bye.